I'm not in it, right?
You're not just
Hi everybody, thank you so much for watching our meetup. Again, this week we're going to be going through a different variety of acidity meters we have. Um, I'm sure in the past, if you've been watching us, we've kind of went over a different variety of acidity meter we introduced. This would be the multi-scale. Maybe perhaps you saw the video on the apple or the total acidity for grapes. They all do, they have the similar concept and methodology behind, but each of these are tailored towards what you're measuring. Today, we will be talking about the acidity meter to measure the yogurt. As you know, in yogurt, lactic acid is the predominant acid. So in any of these meter, when you're talking about different total acidity levels, it's going to be tailored towards the predominant acid of the sample you're going to be measuring. So in the process of yogurt making, you're going to be going through different phases, and I'm sure as an expert of yogurt maker, you may know much more than I would. I know a lot about the instrument and I can collaborate with you, but the process, it might be better to come from you. But in general sense, as the yogurt is made, the acidity level increases as the fermentation progress. So it's important to measure the acidity or the total acidity of the yogurt as it's being made. And at some point, you're going to be aiming for maybe 0.9 to 1.0, but during the fermentation process, the number may vary from 0.7 or 0.8 as it's finishing fermenting. And once it's bottled, then you are going to achieve the final of 0.9 or 1.0. So then I will move on to going into how this meter works. So in this meter, you see this bricks on the side and acid on this side. This means that this meter does both bricks and acidity. Bricks is a total dissolved solid that is in given amount of sample that you're measuring, and it's usually presented in a percentage. Total acidity is important to know in any kind of sample you're measuring because you want to have a complete flavor profile. I'm sure many people are familiar with a pH meter, and you know, controlling the pH is very vital to make sure that you're keeping everything within the regulation and you're kind of safekeeping the product from any harmful ways that it can pose to people. Whereas for the total acidity, this would give you more of the flavor profile to give that tartness versus the sweetness. So this meter is very ideal to use when you want to have that perfect balance of tartness and sweetness. Here, I will be showing you how to use this to measure the yogurt. When you press this button, there's really simple 3 buttons here. So really not too many mistakes you can make. You would want to press start. And now we're seeing LIL for bricks. When you press again, it'll, on the bottom line, you will see the acid showing. Let me walk through to zero set this instrument first. For the bricks, we have to do 2 ways of zero setting. I know we kind of use the word zero set, calibrate, or those 2 words interchangeably, which is okay, but this, by putting water and pressing the 0 button, what you're telling this instrument to do is to calibrate to that water. And we do want to see the 0, 0, 0. So once you see that, the water portion will be for the bricks. And then for the acid, you want to make sure it's completely dry. Then press 0 again so that you see the 0 is showing on the acid as well. So you want to make sure it finishes flashing and now it's ready to go. When you're measuring, you can always use a lid-free paper That's always the best so that you don't have any residues that are lingering around after you take a measurement. So let's see, this is banana flavored yogurt, I think, that we will see if we can measure this. You can use this simple scooper that comes with the instrument, and the instrument will come pretty much ready for you to use to measure. So it'll come in this little box. When you open, you're going to see the main instrument on the top. Of course, you want to have your almighty handy instruction manual. But on the bottom, it'll come with a beaker and a spoon and a scale. The concept here is we want you to take this out to the field, or perhaps maybe away from your lab. Instead of bringing the sample to your lab, you can take this to your sample so you're not wasting your time. Okay, so it's all ready for you. So going back to this, I will use this scooper and I will scoop some out. You just want to press start, and it's measuring 21.6% bricks. So next thing I want to show you is, we've done this very meticulously where everything's kind of calculated, and to make things easier for you, you can just rinse this under, any kind of running water. This right here is here so that the water runs off smoothly. My yogurt came off fairly quickly and clean without leaving any kind of residual. But if you do see some residual, you can always use a Q-tip to go around to make sure it's clean. You can always use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and go around to get that residual off. Well, if you do use isopropyl alcohol or something like that, then you want to make sure you rinse it well with faucet water. The instrument will come with a scale for you to use when you're measuring the acidity. There's two ways to do this. If you just want to do like a simple, just kind of get an idea to where you are, doesn't have to be super precise, then you can do a volume method. So this beaker has graduation where it is graduated to 50 and 100. This here, when you scoop it, is supposedly a perfect size so that you can put it in and do it the volumetric way. So let me show you what that means. So I can scoop this, and then I will fill this up. To where it is 50. You want to try to get as much as you can off of this spoon because it's part of your sample. But so then you just want to fill it up all the way to 50. Okay, so this is my sample preparation method 1. The other way you can do is to do it by weight. So here I already have something measured. To 49 grams. So I'm going to tear it up to 0. And you just want to add 1 gram of water. Let me see if I can move this. Okay. So this is 0, and you want to prepare 49 grams, just about. So I'm going to add a little bit more to make it 49. So then in this, I would like to add about 1 gram of sample. So it's 1 gram of sample to 49 grams of water. To show you, let me take this off. And then I will measure 1 gram. Oh no. Here, then I can add the pre-measured water. So you can always have this ready measured out as 50 and measure 1 gram, or you can measure this and add 49 to it. Either way. Here we go. And then I will just use a spoon and measure this. So you do want to mix it well. And you do want to use distilled water to wash the instrument and to clean the instrument. It really doesn't matter what water you use as long as you're using clean water. But when you're preparing the dilution, you do want to use distilled water. Okay, so let me go back. Let me try measuring the bricks again. Then I'm going to put some on. So you want to make sure it's, when you're trying to measure bricks, you're in the brick scale. So then I'm going to rinse this off. I will scoop some, and you want to press start again, and voila, there you go. It's 1.26. So as we were saying before, as a finished product, you're usually aiming for about 1 or so. So 1.26 maybe is the one that this yogurt manufacturer decided to make. This button here will show you ratio. So it's a ratio of bricks over total acidity, and it you can keep that number as a flavor profile to make sure you're getting consistent measurement each time. For something like this, it's very important to monitor the bricks or the total acidity, because it's something that you're fermenting and it's a living culture. So you want to be able to keep the number, keep it something consistent, maybe perhaps using a number with the bricks and the total acidity. And the cleaning method is fairly easy again, so you just want to rinse. And then that's it. So now I do see a little bit of residual. I don't know if you can see it here, but it's like a filmy sample that's left. So I'm just going to go around with a Q-tip because I do want to store it away clean. So it should be all good to go. We do have a meter. If you're already using a Tago Bricks meter, you can buy the one that's just with the acid. Do let the reps here know, and then they'll get you the correct one. If you are not using a bricks meter, this is probably the best way to go, so then you can capture your bricks and the total acidity as well. When you're purchasing this meter, do ask about the reference solution. We do make sucrose solutions, so if you're ever worried about the meter not showing what it's supposed to show or some kind of validation process, you can always ask for the sucrose solution. So right now I just put 10% sucrose solution. And so my bricks is showing about 9.9, which is good. Which is within accuracy. Okay. And we also have the solution for the acid portion as well. It's called citric solution. So the same thing, you can just put some on the sample stage and press syrup. .79, exactly what it's supposed to be. So all of this is kind of explained in the instruction manual. The citric solution will not, it's supposed to be 0.04, but each of the meter will have a different number you're supposed to aim for, and it will be in the instruction manual. So for example, in this meter, it is supposed to be 1.16. And it's saying that if it's not 1.16, then you can always, reference that. So that's the beauty of the acidity meter, because you can just get the citric solution and reference the instrument. So do let us know if you have any questions. You can always watch this or reach out to us and ask any questions you may have. Happy holidays. Okay. Is that okay?